Every furry of today was once an Animal Jam kid. This game was the shit for the weird kids, myself included, who are a bit too quirky for Club Penguin but not enough for bin weevils. Animal Jam had many fun features such as mini games, learning about the environment, decorating your den, but my favourite activity was sitting on top of the diamond shop for 6+ hours a day, flexing my wealth, whilst I looked down upon the poor. Animal Jam was a Flash MMO developed by National Geographic and Wildworks in 2010, made to educate kids about nature. But when the developers were making their silly little mini-games about touching fish, they never could have imagined the hell that their game would evolve into. Chances are, if you're an avid Animal Jam player like myself, your main incentive to play it was trading to make your way up in the economy. Animal Jam players who had a lot of sought after items were known as rare, and I was decently rare, like not headdress, party hat, magenta furry level rare, but I had like 20-ish spikes and quite a few other high value items. None of those words are in the Bible. There were a lot of different ways to get rare, but they were still really difficult and time consuming. These consisted of things like adventures, giveaways, making art, buying toys in real life, or scamming vulnerable children. But just like in the real world, you kind of needed rich parents to get by. Nearly all of these things required a membership, and even if you were spending your own money, it's still a challenge trying to convince your parents that being a furry is a worthwhile use of your money. Luckily, my parents are nice, and I had enough pocket money, so therefore I got to be better than those non-member paupers. So, as I said before, there's a lot of different ways to become rare, but it's mostly just down to luck and spending real life money. So, my favourite way of getting rare was adventures. There were two you could get good items from, the Forgotten Desert and Lucky Clovers. The Forgotten Desert was a members-only adventure for flying animals only, where there are different gems to collect around a map as a group, and once you found each of these, there were 5 chests you could open, one for each gem colour. The items you'd get in these chests were super random. You could get anything from a black long to a den beta to mostly worthless shite. But I would spend hours on this a day, like it was an obsession. And you know why? Because this is pretty much baby's first gambling. And then there was Lucky Clovers, which is only available for St. Patrick's Day, which is my birthday, so you have to give me spikes. And it's basically the same concept as the Forgotten Desert, but non-members can play as well. Except the catch is, you need a group of 4 to do dances just to get the clovers, while the members-only flying animals can just fly straight over whilst laughing at you. I got green long from that one though, it's a miracle. I have been informed that as of recently they've removed spikes from adventures, so literally what's the point anymore? And then there were giveaways on YouTube and Instagram, which a lot of the time you had to be a member for. I won a rare item Monday once, and that was it from entering every single one I saw. The masterpiece function on Animal Jam lets you draw something on an art studio genuinely worse than MS Paint. If you didn't give up after 10 minutes because you've just ruined the entire thing because you can only undo once, you could pay 2 diamonds for a copy of it as an item. Now, since art is subjective, masterpieces are one of the only things in the game without a set value. Your art might be worth a spike to one person and a necklace to another. I've ended up getting some really good items from trading other people's and my own art, so I think that's a nice non-bank breaking, non-borderline gambling method. And then there was buying toys in real life. And out of everything, I probably got the rarest through this, because a lot of Animal Jam toys were exclusive to certain countries, which meant they were really sought after by people in other parts of the world. I bought a load of these mini houses with little pets inside from the Entertainer, and they had codes you could put into Animal Jam, and for every 5 pets you'd get either diamonds or an item, and these were worth quite a lot. If you managed to get all 96 pets, you'd get the Alpha Sword, which is worth 10 black longs, and if girl math is anything to go by, that's worth spending every penny of my money for 2 years straight. Consumerism has me in a chokehold. Another thing I thought was a genius idea for getting rare is by starting a YouTube channel at the age of 9, which has done irreversible damage to my mental well-being.
Meow 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 17 here with another Animal Jam video. Well, actually, this is my first video. The ferret couch is beta. I know. Is that the otter one? No, it's the lynx. That's not beta. Oh, okay. Get rid of it.
A pretty popular thing Animal Jam YouTubers did was mail time videos, where they filmed themselves opening gifts people send them, and of course people would send super rare items to these YouTubers in an attempt to get noticed. Like, come on, you're making the rich richer. That could have gone to one of those orphaned non-member bunnies in the pillow room. And then if you're out of options, there's always scamming, but I'll go over that later. In real life, inflation is measured by the price of Freddos. In Animal Jam, it's centred around black longs. That is, black long spiked collars. We have such excellent nicknames for everything. We also have rims, which are rare item Mondays. When trading, you would ask if you can have a rim for an item. And does anyone remember the good old days when NFT meant not for trade? As in, you'd put something on your trade list, but it's NFT because it's only on your trade list to show it off. I'm guilty of this. But anyway, inflation. So to keep track of what each item is worth, we have the Animal Jam Worth Wiki. For the rarest items, their worth is a certain amount of black longs, whereas slightly more common items are measured in either den betas or rare item Mondays. So basically, if you're willing to work your way up the normal way, you just have to play for a whole lot of Mondays. So just to research for this video, I've been playing a bit of Animal Jam, and seeing how the worth of things have changed, it's actually really fascinating. Notably, spikes have gone down in value, and the rarest headdress is now worth 65 black longs. That's insane, who has that many? The sort of steps up from a black long were headdresses, party hats and tiki masks. Funnily enough, the most sought after items are the most racist ones. And then a step up from those were glitched items, and there's a whole like weird system around these. Like, most of the time they look exactly the same as an item that's already in the game, with like the difference of 1 pixel. Like, here's the difference between the rarest item in the game and an item that's in the shop and worth nothing. So in Animal Jam, there are different shops around the map, and items come and go from these shops. A lot of the time things leave and never come back, and that's what makes them so high demand and valuable. I will never forget the pain of trading some of my rarest items for a passion flower archway, and then they stuck it back in shops literally a week later. But I've been having such a fun time researching all the items I have, because between now and when I was actively playing, stuff that has been worth nothing has like shot up in value, and so many worthless items I have are now worth like multiple spikes, and I'm so excited about it. I remember my dream item was always a blue headdress. I remember it being 6 to 8 black longs back when I was playing, and now it's 36. So sorry baby me, I don't think you're ever gonna achieve your dreams, and maybe that's for the better. Why am I kind of tempted to buy a membership right now? Scamming, my favourite thing. We've all fallen for something like trust trades or, oh, I decline every trade. I lost my first ever spike to a trust trade. It was an orange short and it was my baby. And I cried to my dad until he sent AJHQ an angry email, and luckily they gave it back. Trust trading was where someone gathered a group of people in their den, and whoever traded them the highest value item would win, and supposedly they'd trade all the items back. They'd build your trust by sending back the first few items you send, and then as soon as you send something of value, they kick you out of their den and run off with it. In hindsight, you've got to be pretty dumb to fall for that kind of thing, but like, I was 9. But I made it my life mission after that point to stop other people from getting scammed. Every time I saw someone saying, oh, trust traded in my den, I would go to it and then I'd start like shouting in all caps, trying to talk people out of trading them anything. And I had this whole like document on OneNote, and I kept a list of every single scammer I came across and like what they'd done. I had way too much time on my hands. And then there's hacking. This is a fun one. In 2020, Animal Jam had a data breach, and 46 million accounts had their information leaked, including mine. The next time I logged on, all my stuff was gone. They'd taken all of my spikes minus 2 wristbands. A lot of my pets I was really attached to, which was so sad. All of my Dan betas. It was like my worst childhood nightmare. I think this whole situation is really funny because like this information is on the dark web. Like, you could spend your time on there buying illegal things or hacking people's bank accounts and spending all their money. but instead you're like, no, I'm gonna go after a child's spike collection. Brilliant idea. I set up a thing on my account where I have to be emailed a code and then I have to put in the code to log in, and sometimes I get 20 of these codes come through in like one day in the year 2023. Like, people are just constantly still trying to get into my account. It's kind of freaky. What I was most upset about was losing my wooden floor. That was my most prized possession. Every other floor is ugly. I will never have the drive to decorate a den ever again without the only floor I actually like. And not only that, but inflation's hit wooden floors too. And now it's worth like a whole short collar, and I only traded a short wrist for mine. I did have some luck though. I also lost my second favourite den item, which was all of my wall ivy. I had loads. Which isn't even worth that much, so I don't know why they took it. But yeah, I massively overtraded, and now I have one of them back, so that I can live with. I also had someone overtrade me a black wrist for one of my den betas yesterday, and I was so excited about that. Like, I literally just logged on to Animal Jam to do research for this video, and I'm actually having so much fun with it. I'm probably gonna start playing it like regularly again. And spending my money on it, of course. Animal Jam in the present day still seems to be as successful as ever, which I was really surprised about. They have added new features, notably how you can buy and sell items for diamonds, which makes it so much easier for people to get items they want without having to take a university degree in the economy of Animal Jam just to know what a fair trade is. But once again, the catch is you have to be a member to buy pretty much anything. I do have hundreds of diamonds though, so if I was a member, I'd be rich again. So I think this is a really good system, and it brings a lot of fun back into the game because you don't have to treat Animal Jam like a full-time job just to get your dream items. They also came out with a second game called Animal Jam Play Wild, which is pretty much the same thing, just 3D. I used to play this right when it first came out, so I assume I have some pretty good items, but I don't really know. The spin-off has its own completely different economic system, which I don't understand at all, I won't lie. But when it first came out, it was honestly kind of refreshing because you got a taste of what Animal Jam was like without being completely overrun by greed. I did have a look at the Play Wild Worth wiki, and it makes my head hurt. What does add decent for teal rare forest gauntlet mean? Can't you just say 20 black longs? Overall, I think it's hard to say whether the current state of Animal Jam adds to or takes away from the gameplay. Like, I personally really enjoy trading, but I can also see the fun in minigames and den decorating, so it's not the only important thing to me like some people. But you can't deny that having what is essentially a social hierarchy on Animal Jam only causes toxicity, and it even branches out into real-life classism because literal children are getting judged for not being members. I think even I have like somewhat of a personal bias, because if I want to trade people, I'll always click on the members first, because you just kind of assume they're the ones with all the good stuff when that isn't always true, especially when a lot of people have lost their membership because the game's not really at its peak anymore and people aren't renewing their memberships so much. But yeah, in terms of the toxic environment of Animal Jam, I think it's improved so much since I was last an active player. I would assume this is because most of the people playing Animal Jam right now are playing it for nostalgia purposes, and they're all like teenagers or adults now. It definitely has a more mature kind of atmosphere, and I really like that. Obviously trading still has its grip on everyone, but people are a lot more respectful around it. Like, playing it as research, I saw no begging, no arguing, and no scamming. But there's still stuff from the good old days like fashion shows and Warrior Cats roleplay. I think it's really valuable that we have games like Animal Jam because a lot of kids are jumping straight into social media, and I just think having Flash MMOs as a midpoint between things so you can socialise online but still in a safe and controlled environment is so valuable. Like, there's noticeably been a drop in online safety. I literally saw a 10-year-old say they're opening dating applications on TikTok the other day. Obviously, no online game is 100% safe. Like, I had someone ask me if I look good in a bikini once on Animal Jam. I said no. But just maybe getting scammed on Animal Jam was what we needed to learn that you can't trust everyone on the internet. So yeah, it's really fun to get back into this game and observe all the differences. Overall, I'm so glad to see positive changes in the mindset people have around trading. I think there's still that air of classism around it, but we can always work towards improving our attitudes. Anyway, that is all from me. I hope you enjoy your day, and goodbye.